morning. All right, this is let me start on Wednesday. Today's Sunday. I had a half day Wednesday, all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 3.5 days so far. And I'll get about a half day roughly today, probably, to finish this up. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll get part way anyway. Everything's in pretty good shape. I ran out of battery last night when I started filming a wrap-up video. So where we left it was I got this end of the new beam in place, and I have it with one bolt in because I need to jack it up still so it can pivot, but the end here is in the right spot. It's at the right height. We're sloped down. The whole barn slopes down, so this is kind of where the beam sits naturally at the moment, the way the barn has sagged. But it doesn't have to go up as much as it might look. You probably can't see the laser level line on the video. I can barely see it. Note for anybody who's thinking about purchasing a laser level, get a really good one, because this is not a great one. I think it was like $70 or something, but it works great at night. But you can't see the damn thing during the day hardly at all. Anyway, okay, so with the laser level line, I can tell that this spot, if that end of the beam down there is where it's supposed to be, this needs to go up about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches, and this end needs to go up about 4 inches. So that's not too bad, really. And I think it kind of makes sense, because when I look at the roof line, I don't know if you can get this picture, it's already better than it was. I'll tell you, I'm up about 3 inches or 4 inches on that post, and the roof line used to sag really badly just to the left of that open window, and it's now about level. And now, in fact, the back corner looks like it's sagging. So we're gonna go up a little more here, which will straighten that out a little, and then we're gonna take the back corner up a bit, and that should get it pretty close to level. I mean, I don't expect it to be perfectly level. It hasn't been level in 50 years, or maybe ever. I'm not sure. And you can't really, it's hard to tell what's level and not level anyway, because as you work on a barn like this, you know, all the lumber is different dimensions and thicknesses, and some, half of it's round, trees and things that just have the bark taken off. And so you don't really have a lot to sort of measure off of or to level off of. I mean, it's good this beam is square, so that's nice. At least I can level off of that. And the beam that runs along the length is pretty square too. So I've got a pretty good sense that we're about 4 inches low in the back. That's not too bad. Let's see. One thing I mentioned yesterday, that I thought this beam, this 8x8 that runs the length of the beam, was 60 feet long. The barn is 40 by 60, roughly. And I think, I'm pretty sure that it is one length now. I can't even believe that, 160-foot beam. I'd like to see if you could buy one of those today. It'd be about $1,000 probably. I'm not surprised, actually, though, now that I think about it, because I was looking in here and thinking about that. And these ties that go across, I don't know if you'll see this in the light, but these ties that go across the roof line from, or not the roof line, but from side to side, those are single 40-foot, and those are 10 by 10s, or 10 by 8s, I think, roughly. And those are 40 feet long, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So if they can get a 40-footer, and those I'm certain are one piece because I can see the whole thing clearly. So if they can get a 40-footer, I guess they probably get a 60. So that's kind of interesting, I think. Yeah, you'd have to have something special milled to get it that big now, and I don't even know if anybody could do that. You'd probably have to do it by hand, because I don't think any of those mills can really work with that length of material. So you probably couldn't get one. These 16-foot 8x8s that I bought, by the way, if anybody's interested, I bought 4 of them from White Mountain Lumber in Berlin, and they were $85 a piece. which I actually didn't think was bad at all. I expected them to be more, so I was happy with that. And all right, so good frost this morning. It's warming up. It's about 35 right now, but it definitely got cold last night, down into the high 20s. There's a frost on the windshields, and the ground is a little bit frozen on top, so it's cool. So I'm gonna get to jacking here, jack this thing up as best I can. I've got to bolt that end, finish bolting. I got 3 more bolts to put in there. I don't even know how I'm gonna do that because I don't have great access to it, so that's gonna be an interesting thing. And then surprisingly, I do have a right angle drill, a big right angle drill, and I don't know where it came from, but I've seen it, so I just got to find it again. And I may need to use that in there because it's very limited access. So I'm going to jack this, bolt down there, put some new posts in, secure this on some new posts, and the posts will not necessarily be permanent. They will be get me through the winter is the goal. And this one is going to have to be down in the ground. That one's still going to be down in the ground. I'm just going to fill these back in. I'll use PT 6x6 there. What I'll do is in the spring, I'll probably, like I said yesterday, I think I'll put some plywood on this for this year. Take 2 or 3 sheets, I guess, 4 sheets. And that'll just get it through the winter. And then in the spring or summer, I will dig out just these footings again where the posts are. I don't have to dig the whole thing up, hopefully. Just dig out what's there now, and then pour some new footings there for proper posts, and I'll bring it up to the top of that wall. So I'll do that in the spring. So I just got to get it sort of stabilized for the winter, and it's in pretty good shape now. So feeling good about it, but I don't have much time today, so I got to get after it. Let's get after it. Hey, 12:30 on Sunday, and coming along really good, actually. Yeah, really well. I've got some of the jacks out, so this end is as high as it's going to go for now. And I really need to do the back wall at some point. That's just 2x6s that are across there, and they're rotten too, and that needs to be jacked. And then there's holes in the ground behind it, so I need to work on that at some point. And when I do that, I can jack this whole side some more, but this is way up from where it was. This post was much shorter. This is a new post that I put in last night, and these 2x6s here were sitting on this new post, but they were down here yesterday, and I cut a new post to support them, which was good. But then I jacked again and went up here, so I bet I'm up at least, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches. I didn't measure it, but it's way up in the back, so it's as good as it's going to be for now. Jack it some more when I do the other side. This is holding pretty well. I got a new post in here, post over there. That piece of 2x8 vertical is not for support, it's just to hold the ledger board there, or sill plate, I guess it's called. Come across here, I got this even, and put these bolts, got these through bolted. Had to cut a plate for the back. I don't know if you can see that, because maybe not. The beam was kind of rotten, and well, it's not rotten, it's pretty good here, but it was soft. And so I had to put some bigger backing back there because it would just pull the washers through when I cranked them down. So I think I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not going to go any higher at the moment. And I'm just going to keep posting this up. I've got that post and that post. So this side should be done. That jack's not doing anything. That can come out. This one can come down now. This jack, take that 2x6 post out of there. Temporary thing. I'm going to put a sill plate across here, and then I'm going to put a post here under this end. I'll just put it right next to this one, And then I'll probably put a post in the middle somewhere. It doesn't need it. It should just sit on that post, and the end post. But I'm going to put one in here just for S's and G's. Because I don't know what this wall is going to do. This cement wall could move, and I'll just figure an extra point of contact would be good. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to keep cranking. All right, barn's really starting to come back together. Well, I don't know if it looks like it, but it is. That beam is fully in place. I got all my supports. There's no jacks under it anymore. It's in pretty good shape. Again, I still gotta jack it up some more, but this is all right for the winter. It'll get through. Snow load won't take the roof down. The roof line is so much straighter. In fact, I know the back corner needs to go up more, but it almost looks like it would be too high, but it's probably just a visual trickery. So yeah, it's looking good, feeling good, and beat, man. Hauling those timbers around, even those short posts. I mean, that one right there is 36 inches long on the left side, and it was got to weigh 50 pounds at least. So every time you cut it, and then you got to take a ½ inch off or shave this side or that side, so you got to take it out, lift it up, bring it back to the horses, cut it again, carry it in. It's quite a project. Everything you do with timber that size is hard, and then when you get the big ones, every change you make, you got to use a tractor. So a lot of work, but anyway, it's looking pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is start cleaning up, backfill. I'm going to brace some of this, put some lag screws in different places just to hold things in place so nothing moves around, and wrap it up. I'm going to backfill, clean up. I got wood everywhere. This, by the way, blocking and jacks, this is kind of what it takes to jack a building. And the blocking is, I remember my dad saying all the time, can't have too much blocking, save that piece, that'll be good for blocking someday. And I always thought, why didn't we burn that shit or get rid of it? But there's piles of it in the barn, and this is only half of what I used for this project. There's another half inside in the barn. So it takes a lot of blocking. You got to block up everything to get your jack in there, and it's quite a thing. And then there's tons of scrap. That's one pile. I got 3 piles of junk wood and crap I've pulled out that just needs to go up to the burning pile. So I got a load of rocks over here that got to be cleaned up. I've got to backfill these holes and rake this up a little bit, and still got plenty to do before I try to get out of here at 4 o'clock or something. So get back to it. It's a wrap. It's 4:20 on Sunday. I had to go do something fun. It's cleaned up. I didn't have time to really grade the water. It needs to be graded so that the water runs away, because that's the biggest problem we have is the water. But I got it at least smoothed out, filled up, and picked up the rocks and all that. So came out pretty good, I think. These boards were so sprung out, all these boards, they stuck out about 6 or 8 inches from being out like that for years, because this was bowed out, like decades. And I couldn't get them back in, and they're pretty fragile, so if I try to put screws in each one, they just shatter. So I just put some strapping across the top of them and just screwed that lagged it right into the beam, and that was enough to pull it in, and hopefully retrain the boards, if that's a thing, to get them to eventually stay in. And what I'm gonna have to do is, like I said, I'll put plywood up probably just for the winter, because I won't have time to deal with all this. And there's a little more jacking and fine tuning I'd like to do in the summer when I can pour some cement. So I'll leave it open with just plywood to cover it, and then in the spring when I do side it officially with vertical pine, I'll probably cut the bottom of those boards off, because they're a mess. There's hardly anything left of them. So I'll cut a few inches off and then run a kind of a ledger board across there, and then put the rest of my boards underneath. So, and then I may even continue that down just to finish it off. But anyway, that's it, folks. I still got to go to the dump and get back hopefully before the kids go to sleep. That's the goal. And I left this one here just for fun for the moment. I also didn't have time to get rid of it, but this is the old beam. So just to give a sense of why we did that. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this barn raising episode.